Hello, Nikki here, and welcome to my end of November update for the cross stitch that I've worked on during November. As it's now 4th of December today, there's a few things that I have been working on in December, so you'll get a bit of a sneak peek of the one for the end of the year, but hopefully there'll be a bit more progress to look at. I'm going to start with the Lakeside Needlecrafts Fantasy Stitch Along by Doreen Jones. There's quite a few people stitching it. I was quite late starting, so I've had a couple of months where I've been doing catch up on the characters. So I started with the Pegasus and the Wizard. I did those last month, and then this month I started with the November Goblin. 5th of November, Bonfire Day in the UK. It's where we blow things up to celebrate the fact that the Houses of Parliament didn't get blown up on November the 5th. So we have bonfires, used to burn effigies of Guy Fawkes on them, and lots of fireworks. And then after I finished him, I went back and stitched on the October Witch and got her finished just before the December one came out. I've just started December, but before that came out I stitched the circle for that and started on the little motif that's between the circles and getting some more of the frame done, but hopefully I'll be able to get December done fairly quickly, and then I can start that frame, but I need to take the circles up, so I've got January ready for stitching in January. And also in November I started the new Country Cottage Needlecrafts stitch along release. There's one a month, there's 5 of them. I'm stitching more on one piece of fabric, and it's called Let It Snow. I think, no, it's No Place Like Home. So also started in November is the Country Cottage Needlecrafts, and it's a one release a month for 5 months, and it's called No Place Like Home. This is part 1. Part 2 hasn't got here yet, but I'm sure that will be here shortly. So this one, House and Snowman and Tree, it will look quite festive when it's completed, and hopefully ready for next Christmas. I'm going to stitch it all on one piece of fabric and probably get it framed. I've got quite a few ornaments for Christmas that I can make, so it'd be nice to have a picture. You'll probably hear lots of tearing around in the background, and that's the cat getting a bit excited about stuff. Hopefully he won't make an appearance, but he's already tried to steal my chair several times. And the next project that I've worked on is Turkey Bay by Plum Street Samplers. Now, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here in the UK, but I couldn't resist these cute little turkeys. I've stitched one already, and there's a couple that are swimming in the sea, which I thought was really kind of cute, so I just wanted to stitch it. It just looks such a nice picture. I've also got I think it's a companion piece, Siren Cove, to stitch, and I'm sure it's a companion piece. There's more turkeys on that one as well. So I was kind of just working on it now and then. I started it, I think about the 25th of November. So I haven't really had a lot of time working on it. But it's coming together quite quickly, so I don't think it'll take me that long. I'm stitching this one 1/2 on 36 count linen from R&R Productions. It's called Winter's Brew, and I'm stitching it with the called for threads. That's some Weeks Dye Works. That's all the small pieces that I've worked on in November. This one is obviously Death by Cross Stitch. and I stitched the unicorn. I'm kind of focusing on that page 1 side. I find myself getting lost going over page breaks. And it doesn't really have any overlap. Usually with overlaps I still get everything in the wrong place. So I thought, the colour's not really that variegated, so I'm going to stick to doing pages. So I've gone back and decided to work on page 1. I'm bringing some of those diagonal borders down, and then I'll get the motif that's underneath the unicorn stitched. It didn't actually take that long to stitch. I thought it was going to be a lot more tedious. I'm really not one for stitching blocks of colour, but I quite like this. I think it's because you're using that colour to build the shapes rather than relying on different colours to do that for you. So it's quite fun. And I only work on this one day a week. This is my one evening a week piece in my rotation, and it's usually when my husband's out and I go upstairs into my stitching room and spend the evening with it, getting it done, usually watching Flosstube, listening to some music maybe, but mostly watching Flosstube, and it keeps me company while I'm watching you all. It's Death by Cross Stitch by Long Dog Samplers. I'm stitching this one 1/2 on 40 count fabric. This is the first time using that and really enjoying that as well, so I'll probably use that a bit more for sampler work. Is Wherefore Art Thou, the mystery Nora Corbett Mirabilia piece for 2016. I'm not going to get it done before 2017. I've finished the second clue now, and the third clue's the plant containers and the very small bit that's left of her to do as she's bending over. Her head's not too far away, but there's lots of beading to do, especially in the top, so I may crack on with some more of that in December, or I may wait till January to get back to work on her. But she shouldn't take that long to do, but definitely get finished in 2017. And then I don't know what I'll replace her with. I've got Snow Queen. Got some fabric for that to use from Crafty Kitten, and I haven't got the beads for that yet. I was going to wait till I've got that finished. I always do the beading last, so I'll just buy the beads when I'm ready to attach them. For this one I got the embellishment pack because I was having trouble finding one of the colours here in the UK, and the embellishment pack seemed to be the only way that I could get hold of them, so I ordered that for myself. So that's all ready to go once I've got the stitching done. And as I said, I don't think the stitching will take me that long to do. And this is Gamer from Gecko Rouge, or Gamer Nouveau to give her a full name. This in November I finished off, I think I was about halfway through this page, so I finished off this page, and as you can see I've done about half of the next page as well. Lots of hair doing that, which is a lot of fun. I really like working the hair, better than I like working these gold bits. They are full of confetti. But yeah, as you can see I'm getting close to getting to another row finish. I'll almost be halfway through once I've done this. There's another full row of pages which contains the halfway point. So this is going to be one of my next focuses, well, continue to be my focus for 2017. I spent most of 2016 working on it, and you can't see where I started because that's scrolled. So I've done that whole row of pages, including her face, and then the next row of pages that I'm currently on. So in December, I always set myself unrealistic goals in December. I always think I'm going to get a lot more done and I end up doing. So I would at least like to get this page finished, and if I can get lots of time to sew, and I might be able to get this last end of row page finished as well, but that's probably a little bit more unrealistic. It's a slightly bit bigger than a regular half page, so maybe not, even though a lot of it is stitching all those blocks of grey. But that's when I usually get most distracted, when I've got all those big blocks of colour. So with my rotation, I work 2 weeks on this piece, and I'm going to work 2 weeks on my focus for finish for 2017. And even though I say 2 weeks, I generally tend to work it, let's see, the days I spend stitching on this, usually the weekend, Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Thursdays. They're evenings because I'm going out to work. So when I say 2 weeks, it's made up of those 5 days. On the other days, usually a Wednesday, I stitch on Death by Cross Stitch. Friday, I tend to pick something small so I can sit on the sofa and stitch, watch a bit of television, and not kind of focus fully on sewing. That's when I tend to do the small pieces. Then Saturday is currently it's Wherefore Art Thou in the morning when I'm waiting for everyone else to get up and the day to start. And then afternoons will be when I spend time on these bigger pieces, and sometimes the evening, but usually by the evening I've had enough of big pieces and I'll go back to the small ones to stitch. So that's kind of how my rotation works. So this one I won't get finished in 2017, I've still got far too much to do, but we're looking quite good for 2018 finish if I can keep on with her, and she's gorgeous and I do want to get her finished because I really like the design and like the fact that she's a gamer. This is the other piece that I've decided to focus on. I think in October I was stitching Eternal Promise, and I convinced myself that I'd be able to get Gamer finished next year, but I did the maths all wrong, and it's going to take 2 years to finish. I'm doing a rotation that sorts between the two. So I had another look at what projects I had and realised that I could probably get Into the Sea finished in 2017. So that was just the excuse I needed to get her out and work on her again. So the artwork is by Jeremiah Kettner, and it's a Heaven and Earth Designs pattern. It is charted in anchor thread, and I think that's to get the blues. I think it's the blues, but there's some purples in there, and the DMC colours just apparently didn't work out as well, so they were charted in anchor, which for me was easier to get at the time when I started it. I could just pop into town and get them. So I picked those up and got it started. I don't know if you can see if I get in close. I'm stitching this on 25 count Magic Guide. This is the Ecru colour, so not quite so bright as the white. And I decided that I was going to do this one in tent stitch. And I'm a good way through now, and I hate tent stitch. I don't know why, I just can't count with it. I really struggle, I think because I'm not making those nice squares of the crosses. So when I go to count for the next colour, I count from the wrong hole. But I do like the depth of colour that 2 strands gives, which is a shame because my tension is loose, so I don't really have the room to stitch 2 strands full crosses. But from a distance you can't really tell, and it looks lovely. And it does make the blocks of colour stitch a lot quicker, which is probably why I decided to do it on this one anyway. There's lots of blocks of colour, and then there's lots of mad confetti bits. When I picked this up before, I just finished the 2 pages, although one page is only 10 stitches wide, if that. So the end of the row page, nice and small. And on this one, when I got back to it, I had 18 pages left to stitch, and I thought I can get that done next year. And I can get that done next year because there's only 10 full-size pages. So in November, I started the next row of pages, and in my 2 weeks rotations, actually in 9 stitching days, I got the first page done. And then because of the way the rotation worked, I had an extra week. I had the week at the end of November to stitch on this. So I got quite a bit of this page done too, and there's some of the work that I've been doing on it in December, at the start of December. So hopefully I can get a lot more done this weekend and get the next page finished by the end of rotation. That would be very good. Rotation ends, well, the last stitching day will be Thursday. So we've got a few more evenings, and I think the colours are quite blocky now because that's her hand there, so that's her arm, and that is her hip, and I'll go around there, and I'm not sure what's here. It might be some more of this flower, and the frame's being wobbled by the cat, so everything's moving a lot. And so hopefully I'll be able to get this page finished, which would then leave me just 3 more full pages, and then the tiny page. The partial pages on this are quite small. There is 3 rows of stitching left to do, so I'm on the first of those rows, and the second row is the last of the full-size pages on it, and the third row, I think the pages are about 25 stitches, 25 rows, so that shouldn't take very long to do. So I'm quite happy that she will be finished in 2017, and I can't wait because she's lovely, and I want to get her done and finished and framed. Also, I made myself some scroll rod groin guards. I followed a tutorial from the Left Hand Stitcher and used some fabric and made these. So now I've got to make some for my Hearthside Craftworks frame, and then probably a couple of sets for the Romanic scrolls that the other 2 pieces are on. So that's another thing that I'll be doing in December. So December, I've got a week to finish on her, then obviously 2 weeks on the Gamer, which will take us up to Christmas before she comes out again. I think she's due back on about Christmas Eve. So obviously not so much time to stitch then, but I'll get some in when I can. I do like to see in the new year by doing sewing. I don't generally tend to go out on New Year's Eve, but I do like to make sure I'm stitching about midnight. There we are, into the sea. So that's my update for November. 1 more month left this year, and hopefully I'll get quite a bit of progress done, but I'm already looking forward to the things in 2017 that I want to stitch. Obviously getting this one finished, getting another couple of rows of pages done on Gamer Nouveau. They're my big goals. Another thing that I have done is restarted Santa Owl, which is another Heaven and Earth Designs piece. I got it for Christmas a few years back. My husband chose a chart. He got all the threads, ordered them, bought them, and spent days putting them onto bobbins and into a box, kitted it all up, and didn't really consider the fact that there was a lot of skeins of one shade of green. It's got a very green background. Now I think I have shown it on some of my videos where I was stitching the background, and I decided I didn't want to stitch the background anymore, and I found the perfect piece of fabric from Chromatic Alchemy, and the colourway is Radioactive,
and it's just the right colour. So I have made a little start on that because it's December, but I'll show you it in the December update. So I'm going to be sewing some of him over Christmas too, just to get me in the Christmas spirit. So he'll be another one that I work on occasionally next year. But I'll probably get some things together and try and do a plans for 2017 video for the end of the December update. So I'll see you then, and thank you to all the subscribers, everyone that leaves comments. I do try to reply when people ask me questions there. And I'll see you at the end of December. Have a lovely Christmas, lovely holidays, whatever you're doing. And I hope you found time to do some stitching, because it is nice to kick back and relax over that holiday period as well. I'll see you at the end of the month. Bye.